The Echo of Broken Dreams, After the Rift, Book 2, written by C.J. Archer, performed by Marian Hussey. Chapter 1. The arrival of foreign noblemen at the palace barely caused a raised eyebrow in Mull. Few weary travellers bothered to look up from the dirt beneath their worn boots to witness the procession of polished carriages passing by, and the villagers were indifferent to the presence of esteemed personages. After all, the palace, and therefore Mull, was still overrun by Glancian nobles. The visitors and their entourages were as common as any other newcomer. Most didn't know that King Leon hadn't invited the foreign lords. He'd invited the Vital and Dreen princesses to court, with a view to choosing one as his bride. But their fathers, the kings of Vital and Dreen, sent representatives to negotiate instead. Dane, the captain of the palace guards, had informed me of that much, but I hadn't seen him lately, and didn't know what King Leon thought of the changed plans. It was the only time Dane had visited me since the day he'd planted a riverwort seedling behind my father's headstone. He'd bought some holly root for Theodore, the king's valet, to ease a headache. I felt his absence more than I cared to admit, and was disappointed that he didn't seem to miss me as much. That was until Meg pointed out that he could have sent a footman or guard to fetch the holly root, but he had come in person. She assured me it meant he wanted to see me, and the holly root was simply an excuse. I liked her theory. "Do you have any patients to call on this afternoon?" Meg asked as we walked from the graveyard together. She often accompanied me when she wasn't busy helping her mother at home. If it wasn't too hot, we walked up Lookout Hill and gazed down upon the palace in the distance, but I usually discouraged her. Seeing the palace reminded me of the times I'd been there, the people I'd met, the amazing things I'd seen. And that was a little painful. The palace, and everything associated with it, was interesting, yet the days in Mull passed by with an unvarying monotony. "Not today," I said. There were only 2 women due to give birth in Mull, and I checked on both recently. Despite the influx of people into the village, my workload had not increased. Most newcomers were unwed men or married ones coming ahead of their families to find work. The imbalance of the sexes caused its own set of problems, most of which I didn't see firsthand as I rarely visited Tovey Harbour's dock or the taverns. But I did hear about the brawls. "Then come and share our midday meal," Meg said. "Mamma says she'd like to see you." "She sees me often." "You rarely stay to dine." That was because Meg's brother was there at mealtimes, and he'd decided I was worth noticing now. I wasn't sure when he'd started to actually see me, but it was unnerving. He'd always been like a brother to me, and not in a good way. He teased me as much as he teased Meg when we were children. He'd called me names, held things out of my reach, pinched me to make me cry, and told lies about me to his parents. If he thought I was going to forget it all and allow him to court me, he needed to think again. "Please say you'll come, Josie." She plucked a long blade of grass from a clump at the side of the road and tickled my cheek with the feathery grey-green flower plume. "Pretty please." "I will if you stop tickling me." I scrubbed at my cheek. "But only for tea, not a meal. I don't want to be a burden." "You're not. And besides—" She pressed her lips together and glanced left and right. We were only around the corner from where we lived, and there were few people about. Even so, she lowered her voice. "Tilly has a cough. Mamma wants you to check her." "You know I can't do any doctoring," I whispered back. "If the authorities found out—" "No one will find out. We're friends. You're expected to visit from time to time." She hooked her arm through mine. "Besides, you know how Mamma is. She wants to take care of you. She thinks you're getting too skinny." "She wouldn't think so if she saw my hips." Meg nudged me, and I almost walked into a bollard. I laughed, only to stop when she asked me how I was doing. "I mean, really doing. Are you lonely?" "Not at all."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?